All righty, let's talk about what's going on here with the Big 12. Brett Yormark, of course, is at the national championship game this week and getting set for TCU and Georgia. And he talked to the media. And one thing that he said about OU and Texas leaving early for the SEC is that he's open to it. We know that Oklahoma and Texas are set to leave for the SEC by July of 2025. But there's speculation. Could they leave early? Yormark told Pat Forty of Sports Illustrated that if it works for all stakeholders, I'm open to it. Now, I believe OU and Texas are gone by 2024. I think that's fine. As long as this works for the Big 12 Conference, I am completely okay with it. And you know what? I think it will work for the Big 12 Conference. I think that part of the deal when the Big 12 re-upped with ESPN and Fox, we know that ESPN has all the rights to the SEC. Part of the deal, wink, wink, nod, nod. I don't know if anything is set in stone on this front or in writing, but it was, hey, can we get OU and Texas out early in 2024? That's when the Big Ten is bringing in USC and UCLA. It's a clean split instead of these two clunky, awkward years of Houston, UCF, along with Cincinnati and BYU, plus OU and Texas. Can we have one awkward year and then cut things off? And Yormark was probably like, sure, as long as we get some coin out of this. And that's if I'm Brett Yormark, that's the big thing. It's got to work for this league financially. OU and Texas have no leverage. He's got all the leverage, right? Brett Yormark has all the leverage in this situation because OU and Texas are stuck until 2025 unless they want to pay what's been reported, up to $90 million. They don't want to do that. Now, from what I've gathered, and this is just what I've heard, Texas would actually consider doing it because they just burn money there. OU, for as much money as OU has, is not really in the financial position to make that happen. So OU is really not in that kind of place where they can just go out there, throw $90 million out the window and not even really think about it or not even really worry about it. That's just not – OU's got money, but they don't have that kind of stupid money. Only Texas and a couple others have that kind of stupid money. So if I'm Yormark, I'm saying, sure, they can leave early. It is probably best for everybody, but we're not just going to let them walk. There's got to be something in it for us. And that's where I trust Brett Yormark. Brett Yormark is not going to let the Big 12 be taken advantage of here. That's just not who he is. That's not his background. He comes from pro sports. He's not here to shake hands and be buddies with guys because, his old friend from college became the head of a commissioner in the SEC. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with Greg Sankey or anybody else, but you get it, right? He's not from the old boys club of college athletics. Just not who he is. He's here to build this Big 12 brand, to do what's in the best interest for this conference. Everything I've seen, every move that's been made thus far suggests to me that's the case. So I see no reason to change it. I see no reason that the Big 12 necessarily has to do whatever ESPN wants them to do, considering the leverage that they still have. But, Yormark saying that he's open to it to Pat Forty tells me that it's going to happen. That's my prediction. It's going to happen, and it's going to be fine for everybody. I think that OU and Texas obviously want to be out by 2024. Heck, they probably want to be out this summer if they could. I think that, the Big 12 is ready to move on to whatever its next is going to look like, and they should feel that way. The Big 12 should feel confident enough, more than confident enough. Look at TCU playing for a national championship. The Big 12 should have complete confidence in itself to be able to move on without OU and Texas. They don't, yes, you want them. I'm not saying you want to lose Oklahoma and Texas, but the notion that this league is going to fall back into being the AAC is based on nothing. It's based on nothing outside of those who either don't watch the league or want that to be the case. Those are the only people that believe that that's going to happen. Since OU and Texas left or announced that they were leaving the Big 12 for the SEC, neither team has played for a Big 12 football title, right? Neither team has won a Big 12 basketball tournament or a regular season title. It's going to be okay. Yes, they're blue bloods. I understand it. But this idea that, oh boy, world's going to end. I mean, it's not going to be the brand recognition. But brand recognition only gets you, or I should say, should only get you so far. Unfortunately, in college athletics, it still gets you further than it should. Just ask the College Football Playoff Committee over the last 8 years about that and whether or not being a blue blood matters. But it really shouldn't matter like it does. And the Big 12 is going to continue to prove itself on the field. Just think about what UCF is going to be in the Big 12. I already think they're a sleeping giant. I mean, they can become a monster program at this level. Cincinnati, I know they lost Luke Fickell. That's a rough deal going to Wisconsin, but still, I'm high on what they can be and what they've been over the last 20 to 25 years. What they peaked at under Luke Fickell, making a college football playoff. Houston, can they be the next TCU? Now moving up to a Power 5 conference in the state of Texas. And BYU's a national brand. And, they're going to be able to take things to the next level now that they're in a Power 5 conference. And that's going to be exciting for a ton of reasons for this league. So, yeah, you don't want to lose them. But Brett Yormark is smart, and I think he realizes and he's confident enough to understand that this league's going to be A-OK. Is it going to be the SEC out of the gates? Is it going to be the Big Ten? No, it's not. No one's trying to convince you otherwise right now. But it can be a clear number 3. It can be an obvious number 3 conference in America. I believe it will be. And I think that, Yormark is leading the way in that conversation, and we'll get that, and we'll understand that, and is going to promote that. So I'm not freaking out over this. I know that some of you may want OU and Texas to stay longer, stay that one more year, just force them. But, I say let them go. It'll be a good, clean break for everybody after next season. I think it's going to be kind of awkward next season. That's why we haven't gotten the Big 12 football schedule yet. I don't know what it's going to look like, but let's just call it a day after 2023. All move on. Hopefully get a nice size check, invest it for the conference, whatever that means, and then move on 2024, full steam ahead as the new look Big 12 Conference. I'm Pete Mundo, covering the Big 12 for HeartlandCollegeSports.com, owner-operator of that website. Been doing it for several years. Thank you guys for helping us grow this thing to, millions of Big 12 fans every single month that we are now reaching because of you. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you for doing that. We're going to cover the Big 12 all year long. This doesn't end after football ends. Trust me, we're going to keep these shows going. The podcast every single week. Download that, rate, review, subscribe. You get a free Heartland College Sports koozie when you send me a screenshot of your rating and review to Pete Mundo, M-U-N-D-O, at HeartlandCollegeSports.com. So thank you for that, for being a part of it.